Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us for the first ever press conference for CITY2 leading up to the inaugural game, St. Louis City 2 versus Rochester, New York FC. We ask for all of you to please submit your question in the chat, and then we will call on you, and you will give your question to Sporting Director Lutz Pfannenstiel and City 2 head coach John Hackworth. Okay, starting out. This is for Coach Hackworth. How do you feel leading into the first ever game for Next Pro?
We feel good. We've had a really good preseason. We've played some quality opponents. We feel like our preparation has been, well planned out, and the team as a whole is really coming together. So it's nice to have a preseason go according to plan. That really doesn't matter when the first whistle officially blows, but from where we stand right now, we feel good about our preparation.
Santiago Beltran, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Oops, sorry, I didn't unmute myself. Can you hear me now? Santiago Beltran, your Sports Media. Talk about the importance of having the second team up and running ahead of entering MLS next year. And should we expect some of the signings announced for MLS going and play for the MLS Next Pro team around July, August?
For me, for you?
Thanks for you.
Well, yeah. I think we are in a unique situation that we're having the MLS Next Pro starting, actually existing and kicking off exactly 1 year prior to our entrance in the MLS. So it's a great coincidence where we just have a good opportunity to actually get that players we did sign on purpose with a big run-up before the MLS starts. So obviously we want to give them opportunities to already gel together as a team and play them in the MLS Next Pro. That is only one season we will do that and can do that, and from the year onwards then we will really focus on that it will be a development team, a team where we want to give our youngsters a good opportunity to develop and use that team really as a bridge between an academy and a pro selection.
Coach Hackworth, what can we expect to see on the field today on Friday?
Well, I think we can expect to see what Lutz has talked about since at least I've first been here, is our style of play. We want to put on a good performance. We want to play at a really high level. We want to start establishing the principles of how we want to play, and we want to do that in front of our fans, do it against a quality opponent. That's the challenge. But we expect that our fans and the city will get to know us and the way that we want to do things.
Question for either one of you. Leading up to this game in the preseason, has a team had enough time to kind of gel together and really perform together as a team?
You can start.
That's a difficult question because we've had a fairly long preseason. I think we're in week 9. So in terms of preseason, that's a long preseason. However, we're brand new. And, the guys that we brought in initially to start preseason, for the majority of them have been here since day one. And now it's, our first team and our new team. While we feel really good about that, it's always the first game, the first time you're against an opponent, the first time it's official. It's always different. So we will learn a lot about ourselves in this match on Friday. Again, feel really good about where we are. But the first time is always a true test.
Yeah, I just want to add that exactly what John said is perfectly right. The only thing is we don't really know where we stand because what to expect from the other teams. We don't know them really. Some teams some clubs take a different approach to the MLS Next Pro than others. So where we will be, where exactly we fall in from a level, we don't know yet. We will figure it out. And I think on Friday, it's the most beautiful opportunity to figure out really how good we are. I mean, playing in front of a home crowd, being the first time ever actually opening this league, which never existed before, and doing that against a team like Rochester, which have already a big following as well, and having that in front of a big crowd. I think there's nothing else for a footballer what you can wish for. I mean, this is the biggest day for most of the players, and it's so far also for us as a new club. A very, very special day. And I think we are ready to go out there and show the best we can.
Okay, Tom asks, Coach, when did you first learn of St. Louis in terms of soccer, and do we live up to that reputation?
So the first time that I played a St. Louis team when I was younger was probably the first time I was truly introduced to St. Louis soccer because, my team, my club was a really good team. We were playing in this big tournament, but we heard that we were playing this team from St. Louis. And at that time, all the coaches said, oh, you're playing St. Louis. Well, St. Louis is a soccer city. It's the capital of soccer in America. And this is as a youth player for me. So that was my first introduction. Since that time, I've had the good fortune to come here and scout players for the U.S. national team. I've coached here professionally several times. And my impression is exactly as it was on that day a long, long time ago, that this is truly a soccer city. And not only the quality of the players, but the mentality, the passion that, St. Louis soccer culture has been known for still exists today. And we hope to take that even to a higher level.
Santiago, go ahead and ask your question.
Coach, for some of the guys, it will be their first match playing in front of 5,000, 6,000 people. How do you prepare the team for that?
We just talk about it being a wonderful opportunity. This is truly, we get to make a first impression only once. And with a lot of these young guys, while they feel prepared, we're trying to make sure that they feel confident going into it, feeling like they're well prepared, and then just trying to give them the freedom to be relaxed and go and enjoy it, because it is going to be a fun environment. It'll be a celebration of everything that the club has worked for and the league as a whole. And then we just want to go express our personality and our character as a group. And hopefully, again, these young guys who it'll be their first time, it'll be their first of many. That's what we're hoping for.
Here's a question for both of you. Since this is a development team, is there less pressure on getting results and more emphasis on player development?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you always want to win. We approach every game. It doesn't matter if it's youth level, academy level, or even if we're playing some chess or table tennis in the changing room. You dare to win, and that's what you want. But at the end of the day, we also have to be very clear that it is a development team. We see it as a development, and not just a development as a group of players, but also getting better individually is the number one. And we want to prepare as many players possible to be professional soccer players, to play hopefully for our first team in the MLS. So it's definitely a big part that we want to develop, and results is not the most important thing in the world, but still, we get out there to win.
There's going to be a large contingency of folks from the MLS, and it will be nationally broadcast on MLSNextPro.com. Can you tell us about how the players are feeling about sellout crowd, having a lot of folks from the MLS? Are they excited, nervous?
I think we're excited. At the same time, I think it's natural to have a little bit of nervousness in the first time. But, in our first meeting this week, we talked about let's enjoy it. Every coach says we work extremely hard, but we feel like we've been, efficient with our work. We've been productive with our work. So being prepared puts you in a really good opportunity under these circumstances to really go have a great experience. And so I think as a whole, we want to try to really maximize our opportunity here in front of our fan base for the first time live, and in front of those people that are watching on TV, that we show who exactly we are. This
is a question from Tom Schwartz for Lutz. Can you tell us a little bit about why City doesn't want, big-time Charlies, big names? Why don't we want them, and what are we trying to accomplish in building up both our reserve team in CITY2 and also our first team?
Yeah, Tom, I still wait for your call back in Germany. Never received it, by the way. Okay, I'll answer the question now. This is what we stand for. This is what we always said. We don't need a PR player. We don't need a PR coach. We need players and people involved in the club who dare to go after our philosophy. We want to build a legacy. That's the important part. To bring a player who think he's better than the rest of the team, to bring a player who has been at the highest level in the world and probably played at the World Cup or in a European Champions League, does that really help us if he doesn't want to go all the way? We want to have a hungry group together. That's what we started in the academy. It goes now into the MLS NEXT Pro team, where exactly that hunger and that willingness and that style you can see already in every training session. And we just want to continuously move that up to the pro team. This is how we're going to select. This is how we're going to sign. And that is what we want to stand for as an organization, and what every individual in the city should relate to. So, yeah, no big-time Charlie. We want to be a unit. We want to be a group. We want to be St. Louis City SC.
Which players have stood out in practice and preseason so far that fans should be on the lookout on?
That's a loaded question, because I don't want to give too much information to Rochester. So I would say that, look, I know that our fans know about some of our players coming out. We do have some young guys, a good number of them that have showed really well in preseason. So without mentioning any names, I'm going to let the fans decide who they should be looking at. I think our group from marketing and content and public relations has done a wonderful job making sure that fans could get to know our players. Go check the app out. It's pretty cool. You can check out the staff page too if you want a look at yours truly and the rest of our staff. But really, I mean, we're a team, and that's what we want to be. It follows up on what Lutz just said. We're not about any one individual. We're about a collective group of people who are all working tremendously together to try to, produce something great, and that's what we're going to hopefully show on Friday.
Is there anything either of you would like to add before we close out?
Yeah, just I said it before, but just to put it out one more time and really put a stress on that. It's the biggest occasion for all these players we have in this group together, especially for the youngsters. We have 9 players who are coming through the academy system or coming through our homegrown system. I mean, to be out there to represent the club for the first time in a brand new league, live on TV, in front of a sellout crowd. I mean, that is what they worked for all their life. That is what they dream of, to play in a big crowd. And I think we just would like to get the community, get out there, support the team, and really, be part of that from the first moment onwards. Things will get bigger and better, but that right now is the highlight for all of us, and just be there and enjoy.
All right, thank you so much for all of you who participated in our press conference today. You can find out more information at sdlcitysc.com. The game will be broadcast on MLSNextPro.com and radio locally at Lighter Sports and KTRS. Thank you very much.
Thank you.